Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit, and I must apologise. It's been ages since the last video, and I'll tell you why. Because, oh, what on earth are you? I've been in a right faff, alright? There's been loads of things to do, to be fair. My room is having a huge clear out. I'm going to make it all nice and tidy, like I made my computer a while ago, and it's all going to be all feng shui and lovely. But that, combined with Christmas television and a bit of a faff, has meant that I've done nothing. And so here is a little bit of, oh, hello to you. It's a shame I can't make a video about you because I only came to you with, what, like 3 minutes left in your event, so I thought I'd start the level. Anyway, I thought I'd come to you with a little bit of clearing up of the last remnants of 2018 before we hopefully go into a more organised 2019. And this that I have tried to enter in the last 3 minutes of its existence looks like it's a relic cyclone, which is an interesting one. Right, what can I do differently this time? I think what I can do differently is get my Gizo out first and foremost to deal with the what looks like relic squirrel, which is actually quite fabulous. I like it very much. Oh, I didn't think about the fact that it actually does damage to stuff, and it does a lot of damage to the base, but not enough for you to die. Oh, actually, I'm not too sure about that. If it gets too many hits on it, I think that might actually happen. Oh, no. Oh, right. Okay, starting it like you start growing strange is not an option. I'm gonna have to actually use meat shields. So I reckon everything is gonna die equally quickly. I'm gonna upgrade the worker cap once because we are putting stuff out as well as trying to save for a cyberpunk, which was, I think, what I was trying to get on to saying, but I never actually did. That's gonna be my aim. I'm gonna have 2 Gizos about so we never run into too much trouble, and it looks like repeated manic erasers are enough to achieve that, and that means we can get the fabled cyberpunk cat. Right, this time meat shields abound, and here is the shockwave, and flippin' flop, that's quite fast. I mean, it looks great, it looks absolutely fabulous, I must say. The only thing that is remotely useful to us here is cyberpunk, which is not gonna be good enough in one of them, and I will need some of my very limited repertoire of my anti-relic cats whenever we come round to trying this again. It is a merciless stage, but I thought I'd enter into it to give it a little go, because why not? I had the chance, and actually its damage isn't constant. It does a bam 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 attack rather than a brrrr, sort of like shredding you completely. That was me pretending to be a shredder. Yeah. Oh, that is just rotten. You server communication failing so-and-so. Here was me wanting to capitalise on my banked energy to do Cats in the Snow, which is back, hurrah, and earned myself some NP and all of that. But I can't, because it's not letting me. It's just got this. I mean, what's all this rubbish? Flipping uncanny legends. I don't care about them. Right, well, what can I actually do? Let's have a look in missions. Oh, of course, you're not going to show me them either. Well, whatever. I'm just going to do deep sea dying. You can never have enough meteorites. Bricks and coal. Oh, thank you, Santa. Part of what I'd like to do in this video is also talking about the stuff that I never got to make into actual videos because time progressed too quickly and things moved forward before I was in a position to capture them in a video. So this is what I'd like to go for, and first along that line is the little 7.4 and 7.5 update stuff that I never got to make a video on because the next update appeared in a complete flashbang wallop, it's already there sort of fashion, and a video would have been almost completely obsolete. So let's mash all of that into one section. Zombie outbreaks have been introduced into the future, which was something I wanted to cover in an update video. I love this. I've been hoping for this for such a long time. It felt really sensible to have that after the Empire of Cat stuff, but it took quite a lot of updating until we finally got there, but we did. They feature some new enemies, like is it a Zor? I think it might be a Zor in it. There's a teacher bear, the sort of patchwork zombie, that looks really good as well. Would have loved to cover this, but things moved forward very quickly and it became out of the next update's remit because it was done by the one before. Anyway, I was really happy with that. And of course, new Atoto bases which I've been constructing, Holy Blast and Breaker Blast. Now, Holy Blast I had an opportunity to try out. It's a fairly nice anti-zombie one, but at the current level that it is, I'm not entirely sure that it's doing doing a great job. It only frees them for a little while, and the freezing cannon probably does an equally good, if not better job. But maybe that just needs leveling up. Breaker Blast, well, that remains to be seen, but still out of this update's remit because that's happened in the past. It's probably interesting. I'm not sure how exactly though, because when you got barrier breakers, barriers usually aren't a problem. Because I was about to say maybe if there was a barriered enemy in the back that you couldn't get to, but it says strikes the front line to destroy barriers. There is a knockback in it as well, which is always good, but I don't know. Maybe if there's some excessive barrier level that I don't know about, as in the future of Uncanny Legends or whatever, that can probably come in handy, but more of a novelty with a nice hat at the moment. Here's another update thing that I can't really show you. Looks like they've started putting the inquiry code into the very start of the game, and that goes up until if you're going back into a battle just before you've clicked yes or no on the little informational box. So I guess that'll help the odd person to see that they need to write it down if they need help. But then equally, I do wish, and you know, I've never spoken about it, but do sort of wish that there was a little button you could press to say, yes, I've written this down, can I hide this from the screen now, please? And I wouldn't need to crop in every time that the main menu comes up, or be really, really careful about it when streaming, even though everybody knows what it is anyway, as they delight in telling me. However, quite conveniently, Wrath of the Divine is here, which I never got a chance to do the end of. Yes, I made a video about it. It was something else I was thinking of that I didn't make a video about, and that was the metal one. But I never got to finish this. Let's spend my energy and then finish that off. Hello and welcome back to update 7.6 or 8.0, whatever you prefer to call it. 'Tis your choice. Hayabusa needs evolving. That was an 8.0, 7.6 kind of thing, and that will make me a lot of cat fruit lighter, and some blue we'll need doing then. Akuma Hayabusa. True form evolution gains chance to knock back and slow zombie enemies, plus gains a zombie killer ability, which should be very useful. I've unleashed the stuff early. That was not my plan. My plan was to hit a Celeboodle, but I've been a little too fast for that. Well, okay, I'm going to put out my Manic Boy first. We're getting the attacks in. They're very strong, but also incredibly weak in terms of health. And the Nimoy Boar isn't that much to worry about, and Abrahamic can take that out as long as there's not too much other stuff. It would be really embarrassing if I were to lose, but it might happen if we don't get loads of money sharpish. That's really embarrassing. How could that possibly happen? No. Oh, we were very close there, but the Celeboodles are gone. Tapping on Abrahamic furiously has rewarded us with the complete destruction of all of these enemies. Not probably the best way to do the level, but a way to do it. I'll tell you what, 9 PM must be some kind of waking hour for all the nocturnal levels. Look at the absolute amount of event stages that they've got on at the moment. This is completely ridiculous and probably the most that I've ever seen. So let's count them to try and set some kind of record. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I've lost count, 30 event stages, not including the challenge battle. That is ridiculous, and brings me on to something I've been thinking of that I also haven't talked about if I was to do another Dear Ponos, because, I mean, maybe, arguably, they'd listen eventually. More on that at some point. I would suggest, and have been thinking of having, a little button here. In that area, I imagine there being a button, and the button would say show all, because under each little speech bubble informational thing on the event stages, there'd be a little minus icon. Maybe like the sort of little yellow and white icons that you see all through the upgrade menu and that sort of thing. And if you clicked minus icon, it would say, would you like to hide this stage? Yes, I'd like to hide this stage. It disappears from the menu, and you can click your show all button to bring them back, and that would be useful for stages that you've completed and don't need to do again. For example, The Rolling Dead, Red Sky at Morning, Dimension of Despair, Wrath of Heaven, Reindeer Fish Awakens, the Manic stages, the Craze stages, Jingle Cat Bell, Straight of Wings, Island Vash, Cavern of Comets, because who even farms materials of those stages these days? Cat Ticket Chance, because that's a terrible stage. And if you really wanted, get rid of some of the cat fruit stages as well if you had no wish to do them at any point during that day. And maybe the challenge battle as well if you had no wish to do it at that point. And then you could have a nice svelte small event stages section with just the stages that you're interested in. So the whole scrolling jobby, admittedly made easier by this, would be made a lot easier by this idea. Tell me what you think of that idea, because if you like that idea, I might just lift what I've just said and put that into a video idea for Ponos. I think that would be really nice for the menu. What do you think, El Chapos and Chapettes? Let's sort out Wrath of the Divine then. I'm going to reference my own old video to make sure I know roughly what's going on. The reason being then I can make a perfect slot that will get me all the energy back that I could possibly ever need. So let's find myself a way to a slot that I won't be using anytime soon. Let's replace and go bam. I couldn't quite deal with everything because I had just expensive units. And I at that point thought Juliet's not going to work. Surely its range is not going to be good enough. But I didn't articulate that point, and for that I got completely roasted because people were like, you idiot, why don't you think you're using Juliet? So we'll put that in. I'll suspend my disbelief because you're probably right. Other than that, people also said Springtime Kenshin isn't up to the job. Now, I don't take any flack for Springtime Kenshin. Springtime Kenshin is just absolutely... Oh, no! The cyberpunk stuff moves a little bit too fast for that, I think. And as for meat shielding, I'm going to go for the classic Heavenly Tower 4. We got the ramen. Will that survive against an angelic cyclone? I don't know. But I'm sort of tempted to find out. So maybe if I do it a little bit like that. There we go. Distributing the cost throughout the 4. And finally, because things are getting expensive again, I'm going to get rid of Meg Aphrodite and put in Gato Amigo for maybe some of those lucky knockback procs. And if not, it's another meat shield anyway. So I am going to bring a rich cat this time because, well, I've got loads of them and I know full well that it's going to benefit me because that's what we really got stuck on last time. Sniper the cat. Looking at this still from the video, I think perhaps, but it might not be useful for sort of desyncing stuff, but possibly on balance it's probably useful to have, and if I don't need it at a certain point I can turn it off. Bam bam, let's go for it. 201 energy facilitates us going into Oncoming Maelstrom, which is the wrong level. Oh, thank goodness I read that title, because I would have looked at the background and thought I was actually in the right place. I'm definitely not in the right place. Wrath of the Divine is actually where I want to go. Let's try that same thing again, but actually do the right thing. Yeah. Sniper. Thank you. Should deal with those squirrels, but is arguably not doing that job. Having the ramen in the middle was a huge mistake because that has a different recharge time to the rest of them. We're going to get some nice damage off of D'Artagnan, but I think he is going to be sacrificed for the cause, but we'll freeze the Cyclone in that so it can get as much damage as it possibly can before that sacrifice occurs. So much so that all of the normal type enemies, at least at that point, were completely gone. And as people promised, Juliet Cat is being actually amazing. This seems much more manageable now. We got so many more procs. We've got the lovely knockback. We've got Ultraland the Ultraman doing his stuff. We haven't got a D'Artagnan, but things are still fine because we'll soon get him again. We've got a Peach Devils, which although is being knocked back, is helping with the freezing. I mean, there's a build-up of normal type enemies, which could possibly be the only thing that could cause us great trouble. But of course, Ultraland the Ultraman can deal well with that sort of thing. And if I keep meat shielding all 5 when I possibly can, or 4 and then the 1 a little bit later on because of the recharge times, I can't see things going especially wrong. We're a bit low on monies, so oh no! This is where things possibly go especially wrong. We've got loads of monies just then, but also very few units now because something terrible has happened. My Springtime Kenshin's dead. Why has this happened now? I can't be losing again, no! This time, the only thing I can think to do differently is to not bring out my D'Artagnan quite yet. And then I'll bring it out later when the whole load of normal type enemies is too much to handle for any kind of incidental damage from my anti-angels. Even as we set up, things are getting a bit precarious for how close we are to Ultraland being completely massacred, but it seems we're just about fine, and I want to keep it that way. Make sure I always have enough monies for D'Artagnan, so just keep an eye on them, and then I think I will be alright, or at least I should be alright. I really, really hope I'll be alright. I'm thinking with these stacked reindeers, now is probably the kind of time that we'll need to bring out D'Artagnan, because I think this is where we got in a lot of trouble before. But fear not, because... Ah, there you go. I mean, that facilitated my fear not. Thanks. The camel is dead. There you go. We're going to get our energy back, and that means cats in the snow can be attempted, which is the next most important thing. What I'm trying to do with Icy Desire... Oh, that's the wrong cat. Well, what I am trying to do anyway with Icy Desire this time is try and achieve these fast runs with the No Mammoth without consulting that tutorial, that one possibly useful tutorial I made quite a very long time ago. I'd like to keep myself on my toes and keep my knowledge fresh, and that was what I was going to do. I was going to put a maglev in instead of probably the Manic Mohawk, because that would just get pelted with snowballs and will die a death. So we're probably not going to quite beat this. No, 17,000 health, which could have been destroyed by a maglev. So I think I'm pretty much there anyway. What I've got is the money up at the start combo and this beastly interesting combo, which is 3 cats for an L in research, which is quite incredible. We might get it done this time. We do get it done. No mammoth. Lovely stuff. That can just be moved on, carried on, and got fast and fast. I wouldn't say faster, but as long as I can consistently get it that fast, that should be great and fine to getting loads of cat tickets from Cats in the Snow, which I'm now exonerated to do by the introduction of NP. And speaking of NP, that's another update thing I never got to make a video about, because I planned to gather myself loads of NP and do a talent upgrade, which I never managed to do because all the tickets that I got on whatever it was at that time, I forgot to open again. So let's open these 7 lil cat capsules and see if we can get ourselves enough NP to do one upgrade. I also never really got the opportunity to say how much of a brilliant idea I thought NP was. The fact that you can finally use these excess storage cats towards something meaningful and useful. And people, well, one person anyway, was using that to argue against my idea of it being update 7.6 rather than 8.0. But I'm looking at that from a point that is purely about how quickly Battle Cats is progressing through numbers and how that is going to lead to Battle Cats Rangers kind of ridiculously high numbers. I just don't like big numbers, alright? Oh, hurrah! Look at that. We can actually get the 10 NP cost things. And you know what? I'm going to go for attack buff, because I might actually put this in my Cats in the Snow layout. So let's unlock that talent. And we've got an attack buff. Excellent. And you can upgrade it as well. Oh, that's excellent stuff. So you can continue to use the NP that you get. Well, let's wait no further and do exactly what I said I was going to do. Fishman, you even better Fishman. Let's put you there and engage you straight into Cats in the Snow and see how you perform. Right, let's start off with this one. Probably not a great idea because it's not going to fare well against the snowballs, but because of its speed, it makes it all the way to the base and takes off nearly 25,000 health. So I'm just going to, instead of Maglev, do the Lions and the Fishman and see how we fare with that. Our start off hasn't been that great because I didn't engineer it that well, although we did get the damage off at the start. I didn't protect from snowballs that well, and that has put us at a disadvantage, so we're not going to be able to kill the base this time. Oh, not nearly! 140,000 health, that is not good! Cut! Cut! Let's try and start the same way, because that worked well with the Fishman getting to the base, but then we will put out Lion Cat, which is nice and sturdy and strong, and it did get its attack in that time good. We'll do a couple more, well, one more of the Lion Cats and then start with the Manic Lions, but I think, again, that might lead us into trouble. Or not. We're on the base now, and hopefully we can stick at it there, get another Fishman, and then just anything whenever I can afford it. And this is where it comes into its own. Not a hugely fast recharge time on that one. And that was even worse. I think it might be partly because I completely forgot to use my Manic Eraser, because that was acting as more defense, and I feel even more stupid than I usually do. That's probably why we've been failing. It had nothing to do with Fishman. I think, yes, that is just what we need. And I imagine the Fishman's helping. We got it. Maybe it's helping, maybe it's not. The fact that it took that long to actually do what I intended to do, perhaps not. But there's an NP buffed Fishman for you, and, you know, symbolically at least, it's fantastic. Well, I think that does it for our odds and ends. This has been an hour of recording. Things have happened. Things have not been made videos about, but it feels nice to end 2018 with a nice tidying up, a nice brush of a broom with all of that, to put it all together into a video so that things have actually been covered. We've also completed Wrath of the Divine finally, which is good, and made a start on Cats in the Snow, which is just the best part of it, because you know me and Lucky Ticket stages, I love Lucky Ticket stages. And I hope, maybe this is a stretch, because I usually go for not hatred of a video, but if you love this video like I love Lucky Ticket stages, thank you that you did. Or if you liked it or found some kind of very mild sense of enjoyment from it, I'm very glad you did, and I hope you did, and I hope perhaps I might see you in 2019. I hope you enjoyed.